Will Alabama really land Cam Coleman? Could this really happen? Talk about starting off with a nightmare, losing to Indiana in the Rose Bowl. This would be close to a dream come true. Fam, what's up? Kyle Anderson, Bama Football on YouTube. Welcome to Wake Up Bama today. It is January 3rd. So let me update this on the screen. You know, we could do live edits. And away we go because it is Saturday, January 3rd. Today on the program, I'm going to talk about the transfer portal targets. Got 3 in the tank right here that I want to share with you. We'll recap the players that have entered the transfer portal. And, it is absolutely fluid. Players are going in. Jalen Mbakwe kind of headlines right now. I want to get your opinion on a couple different things. We'll discuss, what people are saying about Bama, and it's not good. You're not going to like that part, but it's true. All right, so we need to go over it. Who's leaving for sure on offense and defense? Who's exhausted eligibility? Just kind of run through that as well. More on Ryan Grubb, the weight of the Bama standard, and Nick Saban's children, right, coaching for a title because all 4 of the coaches that are in the semifinals have been with Coach Saban at one point or another. This is Wake Up Bama for Saturday, January 3rd. Man, I don't even know that. That loss has me shook, fam. I don't even know what day it is. Good morning to you. And remember, every single day that you have is a blessing. So this Saturday, hopefully you slept in. But as you're waking up, just remember, this is a day that the Lord has made. And so let us rejoice in it, all right? And happy Saturday to you. It feels like a Monday to me. It is the weird. This whole time, I'm so thrown off. We start by discussing Cam Coleman, all right? Big-time transfer portal target. I hope you know who this is, okay? He's an Auburn wide receiver. And he just hit the transfer portal recently. And Alabama fans have been wanting Cam Coleman for a long time, okay? So when he hit the portal, everybody's ears perked up. So who is he? He's a 6'3", 200-pound wide receiver, physically imposing. I'm telling you, this guy is a man amongst boys. This past season, 56 catches, 708 yards, 5 touchdowns, okay? Now, it looks like it's coming down to kind of the big guns, the people that have the cash, who have room for wide receivers. Alabama has room. We'll talk about that in a minute. And it looks like it's Texas, Texas A&M, Texas Tech, and Alabama, and Ohio State, okay? So those are the programs that have cash. Those are the programs that need wide receivers. And hopefully Bama can come out on top. Now, hear me out on this. It's reported out there that he could command up to $2 million and that he was making $1 million at Auburn. Okay, so it's not going to be cheap, but if you want nice things, you got to spend. So, Cam Coleman in the transfer portal. And to kind of do a scouting breakdown of what we like about Cam Coleman, prototypical outside wide receiver, long arms, big catch radius, make those contested catches. I think he'd be a day one starter. And who does he start over? Everybody. He'd be like the absolute man coming in. He's ranked as the number 1 player in the transfer portal. So think about that. How many players in the transfer portal? Like 1,500 or I don't know. It could be way more than that. He's the number 1 guy in the portal, like period, right? Elite vertical, strong hands. His NFL ceiling, he's going to be a first-round draft pick. I mean, this is the guy, okay? And you pair him up with who Alabama has coming back next year, right? Ryan Williams, Lazier Brooks, Sadarian Morgan, yikes, right? I don't know about Isaiah Horton yet. I'm kind of feeling he leaves, but if he comes back, all the better, right? So that would be huge. That would be monumental if Alabama is able to get Cam Coleman. What do you think, fam? Inside the comment box, do you think that Alabama has a legitimate shot to get Cam Coleman here? And don't be out there and be like, yo, Alabama's broke. Alabama can't get it done. No, if Alabama wants to make it happen, they can make it happen. Now, going against those other big dogs is going to be tough. It's going to be a tall task, 100%. I totally get that. I would love to see Cam Coleman in here. Actually, let's see if we can look real fast at kind of the 2026 wide receivers. We'll do some updating real quick. All right. So as we look to the 2026 wide receivers, here's what it looks like at a snapshot. Got Isaiah Horton, Ryan Williams, right? Cole Adams, Rico Scott, Jalen Hell, he just hit the portal, so he's out. Jalen Mbakwe hit the portal, he's out. Derek Meadows, and then Sedarius Morgan. So you 100% have room to bring on somebody like Cam Coleman. I think he adds so much value to this room. And, I was always wondering, I was like, look, they only took one prospect that was a wide receiver from the class 2026, kind of alluding to what I was thinking that would happen is that they'd be targeting a big dog like Cam Coleman. So we'll keep you posted, and we'll see what goes down in the recruitment of the nation's #1 transfer portal target. Other prospects that the Alabama Crimson Tide will be actively recruiting, and I'll bring this up as well. Usually I don't bring a lot of graphics here, but I've been, I've been going full steam, so I never stop. You know how we roll. Other prospects that Alabama is tracking, and if you're just listening to audio, I'll of course tell you who these are. Caleb Woodson, a linebacker from Virginia Tech. And then you also have Devin Tompkins out of USC, who's a defensive lineman. Okay, those are some other prospects that Alabama is trying to get on board. I think when you look to this young man in the center of the frame, 6'3", 230 pounds, Alabama needs an inside linebacker from the transfer portal, 100%. When you look to needs, I would say 100%. You have guys coming back for sure, but none of the guys have experience. You're losing Nikhil Green, you're losing Deontay Lawson, and you're losing Justin Jefferson. So you need somebody like Caleb Woodson to come in, right? He had 57 tackles. He got the experience, very physical. I think he's SEC ready. He's got the body type. So you add him, I think it would be fantastic. So I do feel confident that Alabama has a great shot to get Caleb. And he's actually setting up a visit with the Crimson Tide very soon. Devin Tompkins is another prospect that Alabama is in play for. 6'5", close to 300 pounds, out of USC. He's a redshirt junior, 31 tackles, 3 sacks. Also drawing interest from schools like Clemson, Georgia, Auburn, Ohio State, all the big dogs. This would be a great piece. I mean, you lose Tim Keenan, but you return everybody else on the defensive line. I just think that this is the most challenging, outside of an outside tackle. I feel that recruiting like a big defensive tackle that has size, length, is very, very challenging. So Devin Tompkins, if Alabama is able to get him, I'd be really happy. If you bring on these guys right here on the screen, I'm good with it. It's going to be challenging, right? Cam Coleman, $2 million. Yo, I bet you, since Texas Tech is in play as well, who knows what he could get? Who knows? I don't know. I mean, this is where we're at, okay? All right, let's talk about some players that have hit the transfer portal from Alabama. And by the way, if you like Wake Up Bama, let me know inside the comment box. Let me know what you think about the podcast. Is there anything that you'd like to see added? Do you like the time frame? I try to run like 30 minutes, right? You want me to do some shout-outs? I was thinking about this. How would you feel if sometimes I feature some of the calls from the call-in program, right? That might extend it a little bit because we have so much content. Like today, I had a ton of calls, right? Really good calls, right? Would you mind? Would it be okay if I stack on some calls on the back of this show? Would you be cool with that? Let me know. It might, because I know a lot of you have said, look, 30 minutes is cool. But I'm at work. I would like it to be extended a little bit. So I was thinking, I do the daily show. And on Wednesdays and on Fridays, and probably a little bit more now that we're in postseason, I might do some calls, like a little bit more call-in shows. Because I got a big audience in terms of call-in. And a lot of people have some great points. So would you be cool if I stacked some of those calls on the back end of the program? I'm going to try it out today on this podcast. If you're cool with it, let me know. It'll be on the back end of the program. So I'll do my 30-minute hit, and then I'll tell you when I'm going to start the call-ins, just so we can have some extended, an extended part of the show. And please let me know if you're like, hey, I'm not really into that. That's cool. So I am very receptive to your feedback. As we look at the recent departures from Alabama, and there's several guys that have hit the portal. Let's see. Today, you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm talking about Friday. So you had 5 guys hit the transfer portal, and I think the most notable one is Jalen Mbakwe. Jalen Mbakwe, man, I hate to see it, and I think he's predicted to go to Ole Miss. This was something that was brewing even last year. I was looking on my past videos, and on December 17th of 2025 or 2024, he also hit the transfer portal for 1 day. Now, I think at that point in time, Alabama was able to, renegotiate, and he quickly got back out of the portal, and he was staying with the Tide. He didn't play when he changed from corner to wide receiver, and it's got to be frustrating for a guy like that with that amount of talent. But man, you got to be patient here. Who is he going to play over? The wide receivers, right? And then with Lazier Brooks now shining, and you're probably paying Jalen Mbakwe a good amount too. I mean, think about it. They have the podcast. I mean, they went all in with Ryan Williams and Jalen Mbakwe. It was kind of like a package deal. To see those guys breaking up, I think is a really big deal, to be honest. But that's where we're at. I mean, think about the podcast, right? They had Ryan Williams, man, struggle bus. You had Jalen Mbakwe transfer, and you had Drake or Patrick. All those guys were on the podcast, and you see what happened to each of those guys. Man, that's tough. So Jalen Mbakwe, I do feel if he would have came back this next season, he might be able to contribute some. But if you're bringing in a receiver like Cam Coleman, you got Ryan Williams coming back, you got Lazier Brooks, you got Sedarian Morgan, the writing's on the wall. You're not going to play again. So he bounced out. Other wide receivers, you got Bubba Hampton. Hampton bounced out like I don't even think he was here in August of 25. He was just gone. Jalen Hell, he hits the transfer portal as well. Man, thumbs up for Jalen Hell. That guy, and I'm so happy that he's okay. And that guy's been put through a lot of adversity as a young man. He suffered an injury that could have been life-changing, right? And they were able to get him up to speed and, get him back to be, running on the field, which is a miracle in itself. I like his spirit. He was very open about his relationship with God and that he's trusting God's plan, and it's hard. Isn't it hard to follow God's plan? I know it sounds crazy, but because you want things right now. I want to play right now. I want this right now. I'm ready. But isn't sometimes it's the rejection is the protection. Am I right? And I think about it from a mentor standpoint, a father standpoint about Jalen Hell, and trying to talk to that young man and be like, look, man, what you went through for your injury, let's just start there and be grateful for that. Look, the room was filled with a bunch of dogs, okay? Maybe you weren't really 100%, but maybe you're getting close to that spot. And maybe it's not going to work out here, but it could work out somewhere else. Because look, Jalen Hell is a guy, and if he wouldn't have gotten hurt, I'm telling you, and do you agree with me inside the comment box? Jalen Hell is as good, ceiling-wise, when he was healthy, to be as good as any other wide receiver that's been running through here. Jalen Hill's, I'm telling you, he's that good. Really good size, catch radius. Great wide receiver. Kind of similar to Cam Coleman. He's a big guy. Just had that horrific injury. So he goes and we wish the best for really all of these guys. And no one's going to leave. You're not, whatever. You wish them best. You wish them well. It's all good. Please don't trash the players either. Just wish them well, right? That's it. Let's see. Those were the 3 wide receivers. You also had Richard Young hit the transfer portal, running back. We knew that was coming. Young man got on the field and he just didn't have it. I felt like watching Indiana's running backs compared to our running backs, their running backs are way faster and bigger and stronger. Indiana they were way better, like up close, watching them, way better at all the positions. They were meaner, they were nastier, they were faster, they had better wide receivers, better running backs, better quarterback. I mean, you name it, they were better, right? So Richard Young, there were better guys on the team than him, and he's not going to play next year, so he bounced out as well. Joseph Ionita, he's a backup center. He leaves. Rock Montgomery, he's a backup center as well. He leaves. Which makes me kind of wonder, is Parker Brailsford coming back? We were talking about that on the show. Parker Brailsford, coming back. I was like, because he's a redshirt junior. And I brought that up on the show on Friday, and you guys are like, no, he's out, man. He's bouncing. I was like, huh. Because I think that I haven't seen a draft board from like rounds 3 to 4 and 5. I haven't really seen Parker in that mix. I don't know. Do you think Parker Brailsford's coming back? Let me know inside the comment box. You also got Cam Howard. He's a safety. And then I think that's it. Olas Allen. He's a tackle as well. So are there any guys who make a major, who are a major loss from that unit? To be honest, no. Like straight up, no. Not even in terms of like long-term development. There's not. And sometimes it works both ways. Sometimes I think Alabama's not going to spend where it's not, it's not smart. I would venture to say, because remember, there was a rumor, hear me out, there was a rumor that Ole Miss was willing to pay Jalen Mbakwe up to $1 million. And I think, remember, Alabama somehow, remember the timeline. We can go back and check Greg Burns' timestamps. He sent out an email, and he was like, hey, we just had somebody try to get one of our players. We need you to pay us so we can pay, right, our players properly so they don't get poached. And then literally the next day, Jalen Mbakwe is like, hey, I'm staying. So I think Jalen Mbakwe is getting paid a ridiculous amount, and he wasn't ever going to play here. Was it close to $1 million? I would say probably so. Which is crazy to think about, but Alabama, I think, looked at the pocketbook, and they're like, yo, they looked at the finances. They're like, this doesn't make sense. This guy, look at what we're paying him, and look at the next year's wide receivers. Yo, we can free this up, and now we have room to make a real run at Cam Coleman, somebody who can start instantly. That's where we're at. Okay, what are people saying about Bama right now? It's not good. You're not going to like this part. But I think we bring this here because it has to be real. We can't pretend that this doesn't exist. We can't pretend that everything is perfect. Sometimes you just have to open your ears and understand where we're at. And from there, you can kind of get a grip on reality and understand, okay, this is where we're at. And let's zoom out and also look to what we've done up to this point within 2 years under Coach Kalen DeBoer, right? So the world is laughing at Alabama. And one of the callers said this. They were like, yo, Alabama was literally de-pantsed on national TV. And I was like, man, that is a perfect analogy, right? It was embarrassing, 100%. I mean, was there anybody out there that wasn't embarrassed by that loss? I have a video that went viral, and I picked Alabama to win by 10 points. They didn't even score a touchdown. Oh, people clown me all the time. I see it inside the comment box. Kyle doesn't know ball, all this stuff, always hating. Yeah, it was someone asked me for an apology. I said, yeah, I'm sorry, I believe in Alabama football. Kirk Herbstreit, who loves Alabama. Bama has definitely hurt themselves as far as their reputation on this big stage. Not just this year, but overall. Yikes. Paul Feinbaum, right? Coach is soft, team is soft, program looks soft. Fans have ill will for Coach Kalen DeBoer. He thought that would die down after they beat Oklahoma. It hasn't. It is wild to think about that within 2 seasons, DeBoer has lost 8 games. Like, that is fact. And as we were discussing on Friday morning show, Alabama is 0-2 in bowl games under DeBoer. And before you say, hey, they beat Oklahoma, we decided that since that game is not a bowl, that it doesn't count. Okay? I know it's weird. The college football is weird. But who is that bowl game sponsored by? It was not a bowl game. It was a playoff game, right? Now, he's 1-1 in playoff matchups, but he's 0-2 in bowl games, right? Lost the ReliaQuest and lost the Rose Bowl. But I think the national perception, honestly, for Bama right now, I feel that people feel they can play with Bama now. They do. They feel that they can call out Bama, that Bama is not the same that it was, and you have to be real with yourself. You're like, are they? Because they did not look like it on Thursday against Indiana. They didn't. It looked like there was a large gap. And watching more college football, you're like, Ole Miss and Georgia, are those teams that much better than Alabama? Well, think about this. The last 3 SEC teams to play Bama, right? Oklahoma was up 17-0. What was the score of the Georgia? I keep forgetting that SEC, Georgia, Alabama as title. What was it, 28-7, right? Yeah, 28-7. So they were down 28-7 in that game. And then they got taken to the woodshed by Indiana, losing 38-3, right? So those are some large deficits in the back end of the year against good teams, but still, imagine if Alabama, thank goodness they came back, but they could have got absolutely smoked by Oklahoma. Would it have been worse to lose to Oklahoma or worse to lose to Indiana the way that it went down? I don't know. I don't know. That loss, 38-3, it'll never be lived down. I mean, that's one of the worst losses. Probably since that one that they got smoked out in Santa Clara against Clemson, right? National headlines, they read Indiana throttles Bama. Indiana leaves no doubts. Alabama suffers worst postseason loss in program history. I think that Clemson one might have been worse. I don't know. No, this one was worse. Is the narrative fair, do you think? Or do you think it's just reactionary? I think it's fair. I do. I hate it. Yeah. Is parody, does it make it more interesting? Yes. But, that was a beatdown. Absolute beatdown. Okay. Let's look at players that have expired their eligibility. Now, this one is interesting. I'm still digging into this one. I'm going to start with the offense first, and then I'll go with the defense. Jam Miller. This is an interesting one because I was talking to somebody, and they mentioned that Jam Miller could be considered a super senior. So I was like, what's a super senior? So basically a senior that has one more year somehow, some way, based off stuff to come back. I know I'm still digging into that as well because I'm like, really? What's a super senior? But they did mention that to me. So I don't know. I'm watching Jam Miller. Yeah, I know. Before I get on with my next offense and defense, remember the video is powered by our friends at Sleeper. Just download the app. You get $20 a pound just downloading the app. When you use the promo code, which is tailgate, you get $100 based off a $100 match. And how that works is you put $100 in. Literally, they match it $100, so you can get up to $220. And you do more or less picks. So is Ty Simpson going to throw for more than 220? Or you could take it to the NFL. Is Brock Purdy going to throw for more than 300? Whatever it is, more or less. Very fun to play. I do this, and it's a blast. I also use a Sleeper for my fantasy football league. So check him out. Please support him. And then also, if you like the podcast, think about becoming a fan funder right here. There's a couple different levels where you can specifically sponsor Wake Up Bama. So think about that. I appreciate your consideration in doing that. I really do. Thank you so much. More players that could leave on the offensive side that have exhausted their eligibility. And I think we have to start with, another running back, and that's Draylen Washington. He came in here, didn't play too much, and he's out. You got Josh Cuevas, tight end. He did an amazing job for Alabama. My goodness, that guy was an absolute dog. Played through some pain probably at the back end of the season. I'm going to miss him. I thought he did a great job. You also had Brody Dalton, right? Brody Dalton was a tight end. He really didn't see him that much. Geno Vandermark, he's gone from the offensive line. Geno did a great job. Geno was good. I think Geno was kind of like an all-purpose type of offensive lineman. Could be center, could be a guard. He came through when you needed him to. Yeah, it's a very, very tough player, 100%. Cam Dewberry, that's another guy who came in and started at the left guard for Alabama. And then Jaden Roberts, I still have no idea why Jaden Roberts didn't play more. Jaden Roberts, he built like the Hulk. I thought he would come in and he'd be an All-American, and he wasn't. He barely even played. I think he played a little bit, and, maybe even this last game just a little bit. But, man, that was weird. All right, on the defense, so really returning on the offense, you could have Parker Brailsford, you could have Wilcom Formby, and you could have Michael Carroll. That's 3 of your offensive linemen, right? But I don't know. We're still discussing if Parker's coming back. You let me know inside the comment box. All right, on the defensive side, you lose Tim Keenan. You lose LT Overton, right? And those are really big losses, of course, right? Tim Keenan's been great. I mean, 5-0 against Auburn. LT Overton, how he's able to come back from whatever illness he had and be able to play, that was excellent. Deontay Lawson, Justin Jefferson, Nakai Hill Green. That's why you need a veteran that is coming in at the inside linebacker position, period. I mean, you absolutely need someone there. All those guys got their master's degree. Deontay Lawson and Justin Jefferson led the team in tackles. You got guys behind them clearly, but nobody with experience. Damani Jackson's leaving, and then Deshaun Jones at that Husky position. And then you also have Blake Dowd, the punter, who is leaving as well. So those are your guys leaving, one on special teams, a handful on offense, a handful on defense as well. But you load up. You do have a lot of guys coming back, specifically on the defensive side. And we're watching the safeties. You get Bray Hubbard and Keon Sabb coming back. You pretty much return everybody in the secondary outside of, Deshaun and Damani, right? All right, real quick, on Ryan Grubb, I still can't get over the fact that Alabama finished 15th in the SEC out of 16 teams, right? And that's the same thing that we were talking about. The Seattle Seahawks, when he was there, they finished 28th out of 32 teams. It's like the common denominator with the Seahawks and with Alabama, and why they both were terrible in the run. The common denominator, the only person that was at Seattle and the only person that was here at Alabama during those 2 times was Ryan Grubb. Does that make sense to you, right? Is that like a coincidence, or is it a pattern? It seems more like a pattern to me. And hearing Mike McDonald, the Seahawks coach, like many weeks ago, criticizing, he didn't say who, but it sounded like he was criticizing Ryan Grubb, that Ryan Grubb would just come up with plays and didn't understand why they worked. Like Indiana, their offense was clear. Pound, 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 home run ball. Pound, 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 home run ball. Outside, inside, pound, 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 right? Ryan Grubb, we didn't know if a trick play was coming. We didn't know if it was play. It was like there was no rhyme or reason to what Ryan Grubb did. And I know that probably it's hard to talk about, but that's the truth. And how much blame goes on Ryan Grubb? Because I think right now there's people protecting him. They're like, the offensive line was terrible. You have a first-round draft pick. You have a 3-year starter at center. Cam Dewberry's pretty good. The right side has always been terrible here, right? What do you think will change schematically in 2026? I'll tell you what, it's got to be the quarterback, right? I keep hearing Ty is going to come back, that he's going to leave. I would be completely shocked if this guy comes back. If he comes back, you probably lose Austin Mack and Keelan Russell. Right? I don't think he's coming back. All right. I have a couple additional things that I want to go over with you guys. All right. And then we're going to try this out. This will be new, so you have to let me know inside the comment box. Do you like some of the calls being added on the back end to extend the show out? All right. I'll try to extend it to like an hour, right? So I'll add on and maybe like 45 minute to an hour mark. That might get you through the day at work or whatever you're doing. And I'll put the timestamps in as well so you can kind of jump around. Just let me know, all right? We're never done here. We're always modifying. We're always evolving. And I want to make sure, most importantly, that you have consistency in performance, really good audio, and something that you can lean into as you start your day, all right? And I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right, a couple other things. Does this team, just a couple points to ponder on, okay? Does this team have an identity crisis on offense? Yes or no? Right? It seems like to me they're kind of getting further and further away from the run game, just to me. Is there a physicality gap, which is kind of alarming? Did it seem like Indiana was stronger? Did it seem like Indiana was faster? It kind of did to me. Leadership, where was that? To be honest, I thought the leadership was good. I thought these guys, I liked Jeremy Bernard, Ty Simpson, Tim Keenan. I thought Bray Hubbard, I thought they had good leadership. No problem there. Development, talent, in terms of like developing talent, yeah, I can see it. I see players developing. The younger guys, right? Did Zabian Brown get better from year 1 to year 2? Yeah. How our sophomores playing, how our freshmen playing towards the end of the year. I see development as well. And I kind of ask again, is like that weight of the Alabama standard, is it still there? Is it still like imprinted in people's mind that when you play Alabama, you're going to get hit in the chest? I don't know. Do opponents fear Alabama anymore? I don't know. It doesn't seem like it, to be honest. So, and the only way to change that is by winning games. All right, last thing. Coach Saban's children, all right, or guys from the coaching tree are playing for the college football semifinals, right? You got Curt Cignetti, Indiana, Dan Lanning, Oregon, Mario Cristobal, Miami, Pete Golding at Ole Miss. Wouldn't it be wild if somehow Pete Golding wins the national championship and Lane Kiffin got him there and then Pete Golding wins it? That would be so crazy. Man, and it's like everything that Saban has touched still turns to gold, right? It's just amazing to me. And I think that out of all of those guys, the most comparable to Saban seems to be Curt Cignetti. He seems a little bit more kind of like, I don't know if the right word is evil, but he seems kind of the most like Saban. Maybe because kind of closer in age, right? Even kind of the way that he talks. Who tries to be like him in every single fashion is Lane. Lane is like a young Saban, funny, right? He's plays the part, good looking guy, right? But Cignetti is older Saban, which is kind of scary because Cignetti means business. And he understands that running the ball and breaking your will, using those type of words, that scared me. I was like, oh, man, Indiana might be here for a while. Yikes. All right, fam. So as I said, right now, this will be the end of this particular section of the podcast. And then what I'm going to do is blend in the call-in show. So you're going to see kind of a transition, and then some of the calls will start to broadcast, and we'll see how it goes. You let me know inside the comment box if you like that addition. If you're not up for it, then let me know as well. Very open to your to your feedback. Always open to that. But I appreciate you guys kicking it with me on this first half of the podcast. Wake up, Bama. Have a beautiful day. Have a beautiful start. I'm going to be live at some point, or I'll be talking about some video. So definitely hit the thumbs up. That would be amazing to me. And definitely think about becoming a fan funder. That would be huge, especially as I go kind of towards my off season. I sincerely need your help as we start to go, towards this part of the year. I'm serious. So thank you so much for supporting me. And now starts the Bama Football call-in show from Thursday. When you guys are waiting online, I'm paying for that. That's just how it operates. But it works out, right? I mean, we love the call-in show. So the call-in number is 205-850-1994, okay? I'll feature comments from time to time and some trending topics to work with. You got the Bama beatdown, right? Your take on the game, the biggest issues, transfer portal talk, this made me mad, yikes on this, whatever it is. It's your show, but know that there's somebody behind you that wants to talk as well. So just be courteous, and, I'll politely tell you to, stop talking. All right, 937, let's take it. Chris, how's it going, bro? Chris from New Jersey. Welcome to the show.
Kyle. Well, the first thing I want to say is Jay, he asked me to do something about the rain yesterday for the game. So I made a call. No rain. I'm just kidding. All right. Well, listen, this is what I want to do. I'm going to be very positive, by the way. So I want to go on January 2nd, 2026. I want to go on the record with you, with the undefeated. Part of what I'm going to go on the record for, it's probably not going to be super popular in the chat, but, time.
Christopher, what happened? Christopher. Oh, man. Right as you know what? That was the cliffhanger. That's exactly how you do it in showbiz. Like, you say, like, what you're about to say, and then poof, you cut an ad. Perfect timing. Chris, I don't know what happened to you, dog. Call back. Wow, that was like the biggest cliffhanger we've ever had. 919. Hey, welcome to the show. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson.
Hello?
Go ahead.
Hey, this is Stephen Grace. How you doing, Kyle?
What's up, man? I appreciate you being here. Go ahead.
I'll be honest with you. I'm so pissed off right now I can spit. What are your thoughts on this? And tell me if this is far-fetched, but we either, one of two things. Either we tell DeBoer and the whole coaching staff, you got to go tomorrow, pack your bags, hasta vista. or check this out, or either this. Here's the thought, why don't we possibly, if we want to get back to the Saban-esque style, A.J. McCarron, he's the head coach of the Birmingham Stallions. Correct me if I'm wrong, UFL. They won 3 championships. He knows the standard that it requires, right? Then you could also possibly bring in somebody else like, I don't know, Pruitt on the defensive side. Scott Cochran, he wanted to coach. Let him coach special teams. He's got several of the Alabama players like O.J. Howard, Bo Scarborough, all that kind of stuff. So that way we can get back to that standard, right? And then push comes to shove. Let's say, hey, Saban, $16 million a year for 2 years. Get us back to kind of settle things, kind of get the ship back settled. And then, hey, man, look, I'm telling you right now, man, it's getting bad, and it's getting bad quick, bro. You're laughing, but I think we all. I heard a stat on I think it was Paul Feynman was talking on ESPN. They 50 carries for 250 yards rushing on Alabama. Dude, at a certain point, they're punking you out, bro. Alabama got punked, literally punked by Indiana. I want that to marinate. Alabama, who had 57 5-star recruits to Indiana's 8, or 4-star and 5-star recruits to Indiana's 8, got punked with 250 yards rushing. Dude, the board and the posse's got to go. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I know money's important, all that kind of stuff. I get it. But the athletic director has to tell him, hey, bro, either all y'all go, or you and your buddies, they got to go. Something's got to change. That's all I got.
Yeah, I appreciate it, bro. Thanks for calling in, man. I think that, Alabama right now, they can't get rid of DeBoer because he's got a really big buyout, right? There was that time where if he would have taken the Michigan job on his own, then he owed Alabama like $4 million. But I think you're in a position now that you're not going to get rid of him. And to be honest, I don't even know. I'm down to ride out DeBoer. And you're like, what? Because it has taken me a while. I know, and I'm not. There's a couple of things that I don't see eye to eye on. Like I like more of like a hand over fist type coach. That's just how I grew up. That's just how I feel it needs to operate. But I do feel you need to make some changes underneath. And I'm really, really upset with the underperforming offensive coordinator. I think that has ramifications. And just as our last caller said, Indiana looked like the Alabama of old. They ran the ball. Kane Womack, for the most part, he's taken a step forward, right? I think we can all agree on that. So You kind of make some adjustments, but that Indiana team was crazy. And I know the whole pipe dream is to get Saban back. Saban's not coming back. Would it be amazing? Of course, but he's not coming back. So you have to look like realistically where we're at. But it was a kind of a nice wish list, right? All right, 256. All right, welcome to the program. Who am I line with and where are you calling in from?
Roll Tide Prods from Huntsville.
Hey, what's up, Roll Tide Prods? Come with it, bro. Thanks for being here, man.
I was just going to say that the whole problem this year was the offense because, like, yesterday the defense started perfectly. They sacked Mendoza twice on the first drive. They got him to 4th and 15. They punted it, and we didn't do anything with it the whole game on offense. Like, it's hard to play complementary football, like, if you can't get your offense going. Like, the defense, sure, they gave up a bunch of rushing yards, but they gave up so much more because the offense, they're like, oh, well, we got to go again. We know the offense isn't going to do anything, so let's just, I don't know.
What do you think of these comments? And I didn't even have time to show them, or maybe I forgot. But Kirk Herbstreit yesterday, and I'll show the graphic real quick on the screen. He had this to say. I feel like Alabama, it's just strange to see. They're just existing. They're just out there. Nobody is playing with any fire. It's almost like they feel defeated, like there's nothing we can do. That's what Herbstreit said. Did you hear that? And what are your thoughts on Alabama looking kind of defeated out there against an Indiana team?
Well, I think Indiana was just more hungry, and they're just better coached. They're better disciplined, better coached, and they just wanted it more. I think we were just more happy to just be there than instead of trying to win it. We were just happy we were there. But Indiana, like, they're there for a national championship, but we were just happy to be there.
Your thoughts on Cignetti?
I think he's a really good coach. He's got a lot of saving in him, and I think he had his team ready to go, and he just outcoached DeBoer.
Yeah. And do you think Alabama should keep its offensive coordinator, or do you want? I mean, you said the offense was an issue. I mean, do you think it's even realistic that they can get another OC? I don't. I think it's going to be Ryan Grubb again. But my hope is it operates better, I guess, with a different quarterback.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you think about it, like, Ty Simpson wasn't recruited by DeBoer, so we really haven't. Milroe wasn't either.
Yeah.
So we still haven't really seen a true DeBoer quarterback.
Yep.
Because Keelan Russell and Austin Mack, they were both recruited by DeBoer. And Austin Mack, I mean, his first drive, I mean, he moved the ball, but I mean, our offense still kind of like was stuck.
Yeah. All right, man. Thanks for calling in. I appreciate it. Roll Tide Probs.
All right, see ya.
Take it
Roll
easy,
Tide.
brother. Yep, Roll Tide. All right, good caller up from the Huntsville area. All right, we'll go back to the phone lines. We got 865. I think we got Angel from Angel. Are you still in Pasadena?
Hello?
Angel.
What's up?
What's up, brother? Are you still in Pasadena?
No, I'm back here
Okay.
at the crib.
Back at the crib. All right. Angel was out west, and now he's back home. By the way, before we start, here's our transfer portal look so far for today. We have 4 in the transfer portal: Bubba Hampton, Rock Montgomery, Cam Howard, and Richard Young. Welcome Angel from Pigeon Forge a day after Alabama falls to Indiana in the Rose Bowl. Go ahead, Angel.
Yeah, I think we need to get some pieces out of the portal, especially some linemen. For sure, because that was unacceptable. And maybe get another kicker. There's a lot of pieces that needs to be there because it was terrible. What I saw was a nightmare that I don't want to see again. Like, it was awful. And I don't want to see that nightmare again because it was embarrassing as a fan. Getting your ass kicked by Indiana, yeah, that's unacceptable. But I'm just kind of shocked, though, really. I'm sure you understand that. Like, I'm just really shocked right now.
Angel, what do you think about the quarterback position and the quarterback outlook next year? You think it's going to be – are you on like Keelan Russell, you Austin Mack, you waiting to see how it plays out? What are you thinking?
I'm seeing how it plays out because I did like Big Mac. Like, he did pretty good. It's just that near the end zone, he couldn't punch it in.
Yeah.
He did pretty well. It's just, mediocre at best. Like, it was his first start. Of course he's going to struggle, but I wouldn't mind seeing Mac next year because he knows the damn offense more than Ty Simpson does, that's for sure. Like, I love Ty, but, man, he's not fit for this offense.
And what about running backs? Do you think Xavier Crowell has a chance to start next year?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Start the freshman because you can't do much worse, can we? Right? I mean, I'm going all in. After all that experience, I'm going with the freshmen and talented because we didn't play like that yesterday, and we need to start playing the best players on the field.
Yeah.
No best friend, buddy, because we did for 2 seasons now. And look where it got us, eliminated from the playoffs, and I'm just dissatisfied with this team right now because I want this for the best for the team, but not like this, not right now. But there's nothing wrong with it. And Chris Canetti's, face, I couldn't sleep last night. I could not sleep. That's just the face I've seen, going to bed. I couldn't go to bed. So it was pathetic, this performance. Roll Tide.
Yeah, roll Tide, bro.
I'm done for my rant for the day.
All right, man.
I'm a nice guy, but hopefully next season goes better.
All right, man. Take it easy.
Roll Tide.
I was just thinking about that. Do you imagine just laying there trying to go to sleep and just seeing Cignetti's face just kind of scrolling through? Right? He seemed the best way I could put it, and I put this on Wake Up Bama, he seemed like kind of like an evil Saban. Some of his, right? Like, let me see if I have a face of him inside the comment box. It's hilarious, the way he looks. I don't know. Am I tripping? Like, kind of with that, like, evil. He even kind of has the same almost haircut as Coach Saban. It's really interesting to me. No, I don't know. I think I have one of Cignetti. Huh. I have to find one. All right. I think we got Chris from New Jersey back. Chris, are you back?
Kyle, I got raided by the feds, man.
Yo, you know what? It was just, you know what it was like?
I'm kidding.
It was just.
Tell Max in the chat, I'm kidding.
No, it was just like The Sopranos, the last episode, right? You know when you're
yeah, we got ice cream for Christmas from there.
Right?
Holston's, it's called.
Is it really? So
that's
wow.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like about 10 minutes from here.
Okay. Is it like always packed, or can you get in there?
No, you can get in there, but what's interesting is they have these they really capitalized on that whole Soprano ending, and they have these tours that come out of New York City and do a Soprano tour of like his house, and then the last stop is at Holston's, and they get paraphernalia, and they they have like a hamburger and onion rings.
Huh.
Can you imagine people pay, and they probably pay a couple $100 for that tour? I should be like Kramer and Seinfeld. I'll do it for $50.
Yeah, that's when he did the real Peterman tour, and he'd drive around on that bus. All right, man. So you were
that's where they had the muffin tops.
Yeah.
The top of the muffin to you.
Yeah. So you were gonna say something positive. So go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna throw it down here. So, and this might not be popular even with you, but I'm going with this, and everybody should be super pumped for this year. Okay, first of all, Nick Saban won his first national championship in his third season. Need I remind everybody that this will be DeBoer's third season. Jim McElwain was our offensive coordinator. He won his first national championship in his second season. And just like Grubb, ready for this, Kyle? This is where you're going to might get on me a little bit. And so in the chat, is Grubb is going nowhere, and he's going to win the national championship this year. And we are going to be riding the best quarterback we've had in a very, very long time. Keelan Russell is going to start. And by the way, if everyone wants to feel better about what happened to us yesterday, pull up on YouTube Keelan Russell highlights. It's that good to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Xavier Kroll will be our starter, and I predict also that A.K. Deere comes back looking like Najee Harris next year. He's going to be much more jacked up and a bigger part of the offense. And because if you can't block, they can't put you in there. So I think that's why. And you see, Jam missed two bad blocks. But listen, I don't want to think about yesterday. We're 2026, my friend.
Yeah.
The season's over. Now we got to go. We got to go through we got to look out the front of the car, not the back. So we're going windshield, Kyle. Not. We're not looking out the back. So we're going to win the net. I'm on record now. Everybody, listen to this. We're going to win the national championship this coming year, and we're going to do it with Grubb and Womack and DeBoer. And everybody, our roster is stacked. And we are going to go to the portal, and we're going to get a couple great offensive linemen, maybe a piece of the puzzle here or there. And somebody's saying I don't know S. That's okay. Yeah, I'll remind you when I'm having this call next year when we're like, hey, we're going to the championship game. So that's my positive. I was not rated by the Feds, Max. And, this guy's saying I'm completely full of it, Kyle. All right, well, Kyle, what do you think about what I just said? You tell me, but
I'll answer you on the other line, but I'm glad that you called in. I'm glad you're safe, bro. Thanks for calling in, Chris. Appreciate it, bro.
Thanks, brother. Roll Tide. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide to you, man. Chris from New Jersey. You know what? Winning a championship for any more is just going to be ultra hard because of not only the 9-game SEC schedule, the way that the playoffs are set up, the way that all these programs now have equaled the playing field. Alabama does have an elite talent. I mean, you look at the defensive side of the ball. They're absolutely loaded. They figured out the inside backer position. Their schedule's still going to be a gauntlet. I haven't looked at the far out odds for national championship next year. Oh man, I'd have to wait and see what quarterback is rolling. I mean, the national championship should be achievable every year, right? I mean, that's just kind of the standard. That's why I moved here. That's why I live here in the city. But right now I'm still trying to digest yesterday, and I still just have this horrible taste in my mouth and trying to like organize my thoughts and try to even walk myself off the ledge. You know how positive I am, but just yesterday, it's one thing to lose like 27-20, 27-14. You're just like, ugh. But 38-3 is just, that was demoralizing, right? And like seeing what Herbstreit had to say, and kind of listening to that, I think he spoke for a lot of people, and I think it's going to drive in that narrative that Alabama can't get it done under DeBoer. Alabama can't get it done under Grubb, right? Alabama isn't what they, were. More people are going to want to challenge Alabama. Think about this. In the last 2 years, Alabama has lost, as you can see, 8 games. And I get it. College football has changed. But in the last 2 years, Alabama has lost to Vanderbilt, lost to Indiana. That shows you how much college football is changing, right? And we're in the middle of that metamorphosis right now. 917. Hey, thanks for calling. You're on the line. Yeah, what's up, man? Who am I on the line with or where you calling in from? Yep.
Hello?
Yeah, you good?
Hello?
Yo, what's up?
Sorry, yeah, my phone unconnected right when you said it. Yeah, man, I feel everything everyone's saying, and like the last Chris saying, okay, the car great, the car looks great, but who's driving the car? And I'm kind of on the DeBoer thing, and I'm gonna put it's not DeBoer, it's the run game for me. And it wasn't the loss yesterday, as bad as that was. It's the past 2 seasons with him where, and I don't care who your offensive coordinator, you're still at the top. Where last year it was kind of covered because we had Milroe running around. But if you go back, I did some deep diving into stats, and historically it was pathetic how often we gave them even a chance to run the ball, our backs. And then this year, 15 yards in a game. I know there's outliers that happen, and like we played LSU one year and didn't run for squat, but I don't know, like -2 yards against Georgia. It's just like we can't run the ball at all. And we're talking about Eddie Lacy, Derrick Henry, Damian Harris, Najee, like the list goes. That I don't know. It's just what I love about Bama football, and to see it where you can't get a yard. and you got to run. And even that 4th and 1, it's too early in the game. It's 3-0. That's desperate and pathetic with a bad call. That's the coaching. Like, I can't say, oh, the offensive line, the backs. I can't imagine we don't have enough talent to at least run the ball 5 yards here and there. Like, it was just so pathetic. And I'm not feeling good about the future unless they can fix that. And it's a major fix that I don't know what the problem is. I'm not a football player, so I wish someone at the press conference, I don't want to hear about the guys and their heart and Ty got hurt. Tell me why we can't run the damn ball, and that's all I want to know.
100%. Wait,
and I want a clear answer.
But
you know
I didn't get your name before you called in, man, and I didn't get you where you're calling out of.
Sorry, Connor from Muscle Shoals.
Okay, all right, Connor, up in Marshall Shoals. I love that area. You know, I talk about it frequently. It still trips me out how many, like, all the greats ran through there. Like, I have a book just kind of about that area. It's amazing to me still, you know, getting to know about all the history out there. Yeah, but you're right, bro. I thought this is another part that frustrated me, Connor, let me know about you, chat. So, Alabama, it's not going well. And it's about as bad as it's getting, right? I don't even know what the score was at this point in time. Was it 31-3? I don't know what the score was. But when Alabama came out and they ran that like triple reverse pass, like from Tecmo Bowl, just to pick up yards, I thought that was so embarrassing. You're like, really? Really? This is where we're at? Like, this is what we're doing to move the football? Oh my goodness, that was killing. That was killing me, man. I was like, no. All right, Connor. Anything else, bro?
Yeah, and just to put that in what we used to be, and granted, this was the year where Henry was there and he's the GOAT of all time.
Yeah.
So in my mind, but we played Auburn, and in the 4th quarter, and I could be wrong, go back and double check, but we ran the ball every single time in the 4th quarter.
Mm.
You see, and we were able to rely on that to win the game. Where like now we can't rely on it to get a yard.
Mm.
It's just insane to me, and it's not even like, oh, we're not that good. It's good. No, it's just bad. Like every other team in college, find me one other team that looks like us running the ball. Like everyone can get some yards. You know, did we have one big breakout run this year? The only one was like against one of those scrub teams. Like not one. It's just mind blowing to me, and they got to do something, man.
All right, man.
And it's DeBoer's job to do that. That's all.
Take it easy, Connor. Take it easy, bro.
All right, man.
Yeah,
Roll Tide.
Yeah, Roll Tide, T-Row. Connor out in Muscle Shoals, 704-773-630 coming up next right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Hey, fam, I appreciate you guys being here on the program. Thank you so much for always kicking it with me right here on Bama Football on YouTube. As you know, as we go into kind of, you know, this back end of the season, it's important that you guys support the channel. That's support me. So if you guys want to hit that join button, that's a great way to support. Also, the super chats are great, greatly appreciated. As you know, I put so much into the program, into the show, and I'm always changing things. So I really appreciate your guys' consideration in doing that, as I am a full-time content creator, which is, it can be dicey. It can be great. It can be dicey. But this is the lane that I choose to be in. I feel comfortable in this space. So your consideration is greatly appreciated. There's different levels. It's easy to sign up. Think about it. And I really, really appreciate it. All right. And by the way, we did have a big run, like Connor was talking about, against Oklahoma, right? It was 29 yards by Daniel Hill. And then the next play, we went 5 wide. I swear we went 5 wide the next play. All right, 704, you're up.
Hey, Kyle, it's Kevin from Charlotte. How are you, man?
Kevin, what's up, man? I appreciate you coming with it, man. Welcome to the show from Charlotte. Go ahead.
Thanks. Hey, listen, I'm trying to think big picture here. And when we started off last night on defense, we were after Mendoza. We looked like we wanted to win the game, and then we seemingly went away from that. I mean, I know Indiana made some adjustments, but it didn't seem like we were making the right in-game adjustments, which led to the team on the field looking lost. And you've got to wonder if some bigger heads have to roll. I'm not talking about DeBoer. I'm talking about position coaches, maybe even Kane Womack. And you got to wonder about the culture. Because it seemingly looked like we came out, like I said, hungry, and then we kind of just rested. Was that what changed? What stopped? I mean, it's a chess match. We all know that. We all know that the coaches in game are making adjustments as opposing coaches are doing the same thing, and it's all about making the right adjustments to put the team in the best place to win the game.
Mm-hmm.
Those coaches did not do that last night.
Yeah.
And so, we can talk about the players for next year, and
looks like we dropped the call, but I think sorry about that, Kevin. I don't know what happened. 773 up next, along with 630. I think what happened, Kevin, is the fact that you lost all the momentum, and you lost the momentum early when I felt that, look, right off the jump, what was the first thing that happened in this game? Alabama sacked the quarterback not once but twice, right? You remember this? And I was like, oh, boy, okay. So they punted. Alabama couldn't get anything going, so it was kind of like stalemate. Indiana had that long drive, and they went down the field. I have it written down somewhere on my notes. But they went all the way down the field, and they put something together. It was like a 16-play drive, but the defense held. Remember this? So it was only 3-0. And then at that point in time, it was the quarter changed. It was the second quarter, and that's when Alabama went down and that 4th and 1. You're like, how impactful could a play be? It was that impactful. You lost all the momentum right there because Fernando Mendoza hit you with the knockout at 10-0, right? I hated that play. Hey, fam, so if you liked the extended version today, which ran an hour, let me know inside the comment box. I'll put the timestamp so you can cruise on through, but you got your regular 30 minutes and then just some bonus coverage right here on Bama Football on YouTube. I appreciate you guys. Have an amazing day. I will catch you soon right here on Bama Football on YouTube.